Hello. I'm honored to be here and to be a part of the class of 2019 at Mary Baldwin University. When my husband told me 8.5 years ago, why don't you quit your job and go back to school and fulfill your dream of becoming a teacher? A feeling of panic and excitement, both, flooded my body all at once. The idea of starting something new intimidated me. I was scared of applying myself, pushing myself beyond my limits, and going outside of my comfort zone. I was terrified of failure and anxious of what was yet to come. I never really believed that real college would or could actually happen to me. I was only one of 4 children in my family that graduated high school, so that in itself was a huge accomplishment. Life was never easy growing up. From the time I was 7 years old in 1987 until the day I left after graduating in June of 1998, I was made to cook, clean, and take care of my entire family. We were part of the lower class society, so partying, drinking, violence, and drugs were something we saw very early on as children. My siblings and I witnessed drugs and alcohol abuse, physical and mental abuse, murder, gang violence, and other horrible crimes. But no matter what happened and what was going on at home, it was at school that I found my biggest sense of peace and freedom. I could actually be a kid at school. My worries became a little smaller. There were people such as my librarian, Mrs. Bro, who made me feel special. She allowed me to come into her library in the mornings, and she taught me how to file library books. She loved and cared for me. We hardly had any books in my home growing up, and it was during my time in the library that I discovered who Amelia Bedelia and Mrs. Pigglewiggle were. These characters allowed me to drift off into adventures that I never knew I could be a part of. They gave me time to escape from reality. I had some really great teachers growing up, such as my 10th grade government teacher, Mr. Guthrie. He was truly one of the greats. Mr. Guthrie expressed such a passion for history that even the students who were the least fond of history couldn't help but to be drawn in to his lessons. He was always positive, he was always uplifting, and never let you leave his class without having a smile on your face. Mr. Guthrie is one of the reasons I began loving our American history and all that it encompasses. I wish I had the chance to tell him he is one of the reasons I majored in history today and that I have never forgotten him after all these years. If it were not for school and for the loving and caring teachers and staff in the school that I had while growing up, I do believe that I would have taken a different path in life. It is so important for educators and staff within the school systems to love and care for each child, no matter their sex, race, or social background. There are times when the only love and affection a child will receive will be within the school system. Go above and beyond. Give kids hugs every day. Tell them you love them. Bring food into your classroom. Kids love food and treats. You'll be amazed at how motivated children become when they have food around. And finally, give books to children when it's their birthday, and even at Christmas time, because it may be the only time they can receive books. Being a student here at Mary Baldwin University has been an inspiring adventure. Overcoming many hardships during my studies here at Mary Baldwin University has been a huge accomplishment in itself. Some of my most difficult times were when my husband was drafted into the war, when my husband and I lost our baby, and when I lost my father. Wonderful life events happened as well since starting Mary Baldwin University. My dad's sobriety began when I started college, and he was one of my biggest fans until the day he passed. Giving birth to a healthy baby boy and girl a little over a year apart was remarkable, yet utterly exhausting at the same time. As with anyone's life, there have been ups and downs during my time here at Mary Baldwin University, but it is how we deal with the ups and downs that separate us from one another. Resilience is what children instinctively possess, and resilience is also what makes us successful individuals. Throughout my journey here at Mary Baldwin University, I have applied myself more than I have ever envisioned. I pushed myself beyond my limits, and I allowed myself to step outside of my comfort zone more times than I truly wanted to. Even with all the distress that life gave me, I can honestly say that I never gave up. Failure was not an option. Either we can take our adversities and reminisce about what was never good, or we can use the calamities we've endured and allow them to make us more exceptional individuals. Turning my misfortunes around in order to make a positive difference in our future generations is what I plan to do. Today, I'll leave you with a quote by Brian Tracy. There are no limits to what you can accomplish except the limits you place on your own thinking. Thank you.